Hey everybody, clearing. Okay, so the first thing that I'm being asked, first off, I did open up some more session spots. There will be lots more this summer, but I'm opening them up as my schedule allows. So I did open some new spots. If you've been waiting to get a session, please go grab one. The link is on the community page, or my website is linked in the comments below this video, so check that out. Thank you so much to everybody. I just had a rush of donations to my channel, and I am so grateful for each and every donation and comment and everything that you guys are doing here, the community around my channel. I love you all. I think I get to work with some of the most extraordinary people on the planet, and sometimes I pinch myself that this is real life because it's so great for me. So love you everyone. Okay, so the first thing I'm being told though to pull a card on is, what regrets are the twins working on? So what are the divine masculines trying to release regarding regret and the connection, and what is it that the feminines are releasing? So for the masculines we get starfish and for the feminines we get dragon. Let me go to the guidebook. Okay, for masculine starfish. So it came out in the reverse. Both of them did actually. So gossip and feeling empty. Beautiful, alluring, superficial, or shallow. The starfish is a natural and exquisite beauty, mesmerizing to all. Being around someone with starfish energy is a thrill, like you've been put under a spell of divinity itself. The problem is these creatures have been reliant on how they look and what other people think of them for so long that they may have forgotten their deeper callings. When this card appears, it's important to ask, am I being swayed by outward appearances? What dreams have I put to the side to please others? So this is the regret the masculines have identified. And this is amazing because when it's in balance, it's uplifting, artistic, and expressive. When it's out of balance, gossip and feeling empty. Bringing it into balance, positive friends. So the masculines are looking at the superficial and shallow things of the past and wanting to release that, wanting to release, like yesterday's reading, the schmoozy energy, and come into authentic connection. So that's the regret, that they have not been truly themselves, and that they've been so caught up in the superficial, in oh, you gorgeous divine masculines, in the appearance speaking for them instead of their true nature. It's like they've forgotten how to express their true selves and have relied on just the strong silent allure or something like that from the past, that worldly reputation that precedes them, that doesn't fly with the divine feminine, because it's the spiritual reputation that precedes them, that magnetizes the divine feminine, not all of that worldly stuff. It's the opposite. So there is a coming into this awareness, releasing it. And for you divine masculines watching, your feminine loves you for who you really are, not that darn reputation that you think you've had in the 3D world alignment. Okay, and for the feminines, we have a dragon. Also in the reverse, so seeing one's most true self, balancing ego. The dragon sees everything. Its essence has been with us since before our first breath and will be there for our last. It watches us navigate the external world as well as our inner world. When dragon energy is awakened, we're courageous, visionary, and can easily drop into witness consciousness. It is almost as if we are traveling with a great friend inside of ourselves. When we look in the mirror deep in our eyes, we may even glimpse the self behind the self, the one who's watching us. This is the power of the dragon, breathing transformative fire into every cell of our bodies. Witnessing this omnipotent energy, even for a brief moment, helps us surrender and let go. When we let dragon guide us, we hop on its back for a ride, and as we traverse even the most difficult terrain, the dragon's eyes see beauty everywhere. It's said that if a yogi goes does not see beauty in the world. Their Agni is dim. Agni is described as inner fire or sacred intelligence. May even just the mention of the dragon stir the embers of intelligence within you. The dragon in the third chakra. The subtle energy of the dragon lives at the navel center. This is the chakra called the City of Hidden Gems, and behind its gates burns the fire of our transformation and digestion. The sages believe the health of the fire at the navel center is what governs our ability to see both the inner and outer dimensions. So in the reverse, let's see if there's any more. In the reverse, there is an imbalance here. Feminines, you're letting go of that ego and dropping into humility. I'm getting a lot of the divine feminine becoming through, let's say, past the feminist movement and into a more sacred availability. The divine feminine Empress energy that's able to be present on the planet right now is a long time coming to have this kind of balance and validity returned and equality across the planet with masculine and feminine. Since 2016-ish, we've seen that coming in. A real balancing of the impact that the twins are having in the world and with each other here. So similar mirroring, similar release of regrets from the past where things just haven't been empowered or authentic as they could. Okay, let's get into a little bit of a different reading now. What I'm feeling to pull is a masculine and feminine, what are they thinking, feeling, wishing, reading, but I'm going to do it in the highest representation that each have come to in the 3D. So what is the most love-filled thought that the feminine has had about the connection? The most love-filled thought the masculine has had regarding the connection in the 3D, and so on. One more shuffle for the masculine's cards. And we're going to do, what are they each wishing? What are they doing? Challenged by? On and on like that. Okay, so the feminines. What is the most progressive thought in the 3D that the feminines have had about the connection? All of their hopes and fears and triggers, the imprinting of the world regarding third-party situations is the first message here. About being unafraid, coming out of the competition lack. All of that mentality that would, I guess, loosely organize around the words of jealousy and all the different themes that come up when a third energy is in. The moon is the subconscious, but it's also divine feminine. It's also the birth, death, rebirth cycle that is bigger than the mundane day-to-day and the experiences that could trigger this. This is the love that's bigger than all of these developmental stages of consciousness where we test out and compare and contrast various energies. The divine feminine is progressively thinking past all of those, and this is also a card of celebration and friendship. So the divine feminines are truly seeing the inner workings of friendship, even in these connections where there's so much sexual attraction, so much passion, that it challenges every capacity to maintain friendship through it all. That is what the feminines' most progressive thought in the 3D has been about. Beautiful. And for the masculines, what is the most progressive thought? Woohoo! King of Wands with the 3 of Coins. Ooh, thank you also, Tracy, for both of these decks, the Art Nouveau and the Black and Gold Tarot. Thank you so much for that contribution to the channel. King of Wands and 3 of Coins. This is the teamwork, and this is the shamanic king that is the leader, the diplomat under heaven, the individual who has that hard-won holy fire going forward, the leader, the influencer, the shaman. This is the teamwork. So the cutting edge, most progressive thought that this masculine collective has come out with is that even the shaman, even the diplomat under heaven can have true partnership with an equal feminine energy and be united under the same cause, with the same divine intention, with the same mission. May not know what that looks like, but just this concept that it could be possible with you, divine feminine. That is a radical. In our modern cultures, there's this breadwinning idea that there needs to be a leadership, the provider, that kind of an archetype. We're coming out of that go it alone energy and the true divine template of the masculine and feminine coming together in a similar exponential cause to collaborate together. The masculines are considering that in the 3D. This is my card of the 3D as well. And so true partnering as this King of Wands, that's my twin flame divine masculine card. Not everybody looks at it that way. And that's fine, because every reader has their own pings for each card, and this is how it rolls out over here. Doesn't make any other interpretations wrong. And if you also are finding some incredibly gifted readers that vary in their descriptions, pay attention to when a reader says, in my interpretation this card means this, because we all get our intuitive hits through different exposure and imprinting, and it's still continuous for the messages that are coming through. The pretty pictures of the cards loosely organize around that. It's all energy. Okay, having said that, what are the feminine's most progressive thoughts on, or feelings on the heart space? Just absolute truth that these connections will come back around and there will be reunion. Ace of Swords, about reunion. On their heart of hearts, they know this is not finished business, that this colorful past, these roots that have been established, are where it's at. This is the journey. It is to be celebrated. It's giving foundation and credibility to all of it. It's adding the color, the unseen parts, the energetics, everything being learned is such a profound truth. It's a whole new level of awareness. And that feeling on the heart space is qualifying these connections as something so much more than meets the eye. What is the most progressive feeling on the heart space the masculines have come into? Choosing wholeheartedly the new beginning with the feminine. That same idea that they've never been able to partner truly in the physical, that they've been working on their independence, they've been working on coming into their own, and now look at that. 2, 3, 2, 1. Countdown. The masculines are coming into that mind heart space alignment that allows them to wholeheartedly offer themselves, their life, into alignment with these connections. So isn't that incredible, feminines? A lot of times we think that the divine masculines are behind, and in some ways this is even more assured, more confident, more sunshiny, more enlightened than the feminines have yet dared to fully believe. Yes, there is the truth of this connection, and that reunion is evident in certain energetic ways, but for the masculines, they are zeroing in on this is the goal. This is their heart's truth, this new oneness with you. 3, 2, 1, boom. Masculines are coming up from behind, taking the lead. Okay, what are the feminine's most progressive wishes for the connection? See, more confirmation. Here we have on the heart space, this is the masculine's truth. And the wish for the feminine is that this separation would end, and maybe one day this truth will arise. I've got news for you, feminines. Your masculine's 3D consciousness has already indicated that their heart's deepest, most progressive awareness is that they want that with you. So they also want that. This is your wish. Let go of it. Godspeed, feminines, because the masculines already desire that with their entire heart space. What is the masculine's most progressive wish? Oh, to come out of all of the extra energies, the karmic battle, and be freed to come in, to ride in on this horse, the Six of Wands, to come in and say, hi, I'm here, I'm ready, let's do this. That is their most progressive wish, that everything in their situations would streamline and simplify and allow for the ability to have authentic victory with you so that they can move this forward. Beautiful. So what is the most progressive action the feminines are taking? Daughter of Cups and the Ace of Cups. They're grounding this. They're not, feminines are not being more emotionally ahead of where the connections are. They're loving themselves enough not to allow emotions to get ahead of themselves. So feminines are grounding, balancing out, grounding themselves, being practical, being realistic, keeping their emotions in check, being transparent, being authentic, and not getting out of balance. What is the most progressive action the masculines are taking? Knight of Cups and Ten of Wands. They're bringing love, self-love, and love of everyone involved into this karmic cleanup. That's their wish, to do the karmic cleanup. And so the most progressive action is doing it with a glad heart, with a loving heart, with a responsible heart, with an accountable heart, and doing it till the very end, persevering until the very end, doing it. Masculines, you are just melting me today. What is the biggest challenge? What is the most cutting edge progressive challenge for the feminines at this time? The Emperor and the Judgment card. So this is seeing how you have been running with control paradigms, feminines, how you've been wanting everything to be a certain way, or adhering to expectations or assumptions or attachment to outcome. Seeing where you do that. You may think that you don't do that at all, but this is saying that that is the most cutting edge challenge, is admitting and seeing and understanding how that plays out for you, how your own desire to protect this connection, or to protect your heart, or to give structure or define or try and feel safe because of putting it in a box of some kind. That is the biggest challenge for the feminines. Let's go to the cutting edge solution for that. Oh, stepping out of the way and trusting divine timing. Trusting that all of these explorations and seeing yourself this way, seeing the dynamic through how you've been clinging, how you've been trying to micromanage it, how you've been rationalizing, I almost said logicking, yourself into a corner regarding aspects of the journey. The divine guidance here is let go of control, let go and let God kind of energy. Don't try and classify what you think you've seen in this journey through a judgmental lens. I'm not talking about false twins or karmic situations where there is codependency and obsession and all that. I'm talking about true twin flame dynamics where there's love, where there's enlightenment, where there's progress, where there's growth, where there's healing. And you know you're on a twin journey, and yet you have been mystified at some of the bumpy energy along the journey because it's been going against what you expected or thought love looked like. So the divine guidance here is open your mind even further, specifically regarding breadcrumbing or unequal give and take, and see if you can ask the divine even to go in there and show you how those instances were not the opposite of love. So there might still be some expectations, some attachments, some faulty thinking to see through that was creating false safety for you, or attempts at being certain where you were meant to just surrender. There could be worthiness issues still coming up for some feminines regarding reciprocation or not in these dynamics. It has nothing to do with you, divine feminine. Everyone is entitled to their own journey. If there is entitlement available in any shape or form, it is the entitlement to come to our own enlightenment. Each of us, our own karmic path. We are only accountable for our own karma. And so continue to unhook that attempt to make your masculine accountable for your happiness by further unhooking from anywhere that you have taken offense or had your feelings hurt if there wasn't reciprocation. That is 3D thinking, that is codependent thinking, and that needs to end. Okay, where are the masculine's cutting edge challenges? Queen of Pentacles and love. Okay. This is partnering in the physical. This is nourishment. It's home energy. It's nurturance. It's mothering energy. So the cutting edge challenge is understanding what a true partner is, what true love actually is, and how those blend, how that actually works outside of this codependent quagmire that the masculines have gotten hooked into, this transactional way of being with others rather than the compassionate, genuine, authentic, showing up with a glad heart and meeting another healed, glad heart in that communion, and how that ripples out through a commitment, through a connection with someone, and what that looks like. So that is a legitimate, practical concern that the masculines are having here. The feminines are all up in the mind space with concepts and paradigms, and the masculines are really working on how does this look in the physical. Another indication, feminines, at how much intention the masculines are putting towards this. Remember, this is a 3D reading, so they're looking at the logistics of how a love like this actually functions. If it's not the transactional relationships they're used to, what is it then? That's the biggest challenge here. What is the spirit guided solution for that challenge? Starting small, stepping out of the comfort zone, twin flame energy, kindness. Masculines, your solution here is true kindness, and that is coming from a place of authenticity and not duty. The Page of Coins for me is the beginnings of really doing things with a glad heart, with the whole heart, because you're not, like has come through before, serving two masters. You're not torn. You have complete peace about what it is you've chosen to go forward to, and so therefore it is coming from the right place, and that is the advice here. Especially if you've never navigated a situation like this before, it's about really touching in with the heart space and only doing the things that feel good when they feel good, and being true to that, choosing to step out of the comfort zone and trusting that that is the magical building block for success. Is when your whole heart is in alignment, that's when you do the motion, that's when you say yes, that's when you go forward. But you have to step out of your comfort zone, because a lot of masculines know that these connections afford that. They just maybe haven't taken that leap of faith, and that also has to do with your own faith too, feminines. So if you can take the leap of faith emotionally and mentally, because you've done that inner analysis that confirms it's practically safe to do so, then that energetic motion is going to give the signature to your masculine that it's safe to do that in the physical. Wow. Where are these connections going? Divine feminines. Okay, Page of Pentacles here in response to the masculine getting the same card, but it's in the reverse, which I always take as personalizing it. Same with this Eight of Coins. Pardon me. This is doing the inner work, feminines, so that you are also only speaking from that place of kindness. You're only showing up. So this is overcoming the fears that would make you feel like there's a speed wobble in these connections. You're not going to be forced into these unions coming in further, feminines, until it's safe to do so. And so until you work on your apprehension, that's not going to balance out. So ask the divine to give you the true ways of looking at the journey and your connection with your masculine, so that you can come out of this feeling of apprehension, so you have the proof. It's not blind faith. You're not meant to just say, I'm not going to be in apprehension, I'm not going to be apprehensive, I'm not going to be apprehensive, and expect that that's going to do it. You can't say a mantra like that and not attach to the backstory. You're an intelligent being. You need to know why, or else it's just not going to align head and heart. So do that inner work to connect those dots, feminines, and come into it. That's what I see as the motion, the Divine Feminine Collective moving into alignment of head and heart, so that there is a readiness. And what is the most progressive? Ooh, we got the Devil and the Two of Coins. This is the utmost of physical grounding. This is the forever binding kind of energy, but it's not in a negative light. What I'm getting here is that this is the 3D to the utmost. This is the change coming in. Masculines are making their final ascent into grounding this in the 3D once and for all. All these pentacles on the heart space, all these pentacles in the consciousness. This is the 3D of the 3D. Masculines mean this with all of their heart, and that's why it's taken so long to get to this place, is because there is such a high level of surety needed for the masculines to commit, because divine feminines, you have never been committed to. You have never been. Divine feminines, really allow this to sink in. You have never been given commitment, authentic commitment, in your entire incarnation, in your entire life, in any lifetime. I'm hearing you have never been the reciprocant of true commitment. That's what I'm seeing here. This is actual commitment. This is not commitment with a wandering eye. This is not commitment with a secret resistance and desire to be out on the town. This is commitment saying, on every level of my being, you are my person. This is what every divine feminine has always wished for, and what every divine masculine has always wished for. This is blowing my mind. This is intense. Whoa, divine masculines, this is intense. Whoa. So yeah, that's how real. Look, divine feminine, you wonder sometimes if your divine masculine even cares. Let that message sink in. Let that sink in into every cell of your body, that your masculine is already at that place where you're still over there potentially wondering if your masculine will ever come forward, or if they really love you in some cases, if they're awake enough, if they're aware enough. This is a 3D reading, everybody. That's why the masculines, I'm just hearing, that's why it's taken so long, and why it feels so tentative, is because this is the degree of connection the masculines are amping up to offer. It's not casual. This is not a casual offer. This is the be-all end-all. This is the most profound gift of heart that someone could give. So feminines, take it seriously, what you have inspired in your masculine, because while you may have played karmic games before, feminines, you have never actually connected with a divine masculine that's willing and able and preparing to offer you what you have always said you wanted, but you have no idea what that's actually going to be like. Neither does the divine masculine. We are designing this, everybody. This is so beautiful. Okay, let's get one energetic card for the divine. Well, let's do one for the union space here. We are getting Blue Star of Hope, Ascension, Surrender, and Purification. Okay, everybody, that's just too good. This is the Ascension. So surrender to this love, everyone. Purify anything that is not of it, and keep rising into union. So beautiful. Bye for now, everyone.